All right, so we're live again. It is 11 a.m.-ish. Yeah, right on the dot. So today I'm going to be actually working with exercise bands, and so the plan on this is to just give you a different implement to add to your arsenal of things. I know a lot of you are hopefully going out and doing a little bit of purchasing on the Amazon or whatever. Exercise bands are a really nice way to get a full strength workout in. I'm going to show you mostly upper body stuff today. The lower body stuff requires a little bit more room sometimes. So I'm going to show you the upper body stuff today. We're going to be doing some rows. We're going to do some tricep extensions, bicep curls, lat pullovers, and lateral shoulder raise. Now a couple of these you've already sort of seen. Not a problem, we're just going to add them in. I'm going to give you maybe some slight variations or just ways of mixing these things up a little bit. I want to start with an isolated row. So isolated means isometric. You're going to take your door anchor of your band and you're going to place it right in sort of the center side of the door, right near the handle. I'm also going to have one over the top of the door. So if you get a kit of exercise bands, what I recommend is getting a kit that either has a couple of the door jam things, the ones that sort of loop over the door and hold when you close it, or order an extra one. Some of these brands will give you the option of ordering a piece a la carte, so you may want to consider doing something like that. Body Elastics is the brand that I use. I really like the brand. They should start repping me, or I should start repping them rather. At any rate, we're going to start out, okay? So grab a band. For the row, you may want to use a slightly heavier band. We're going to go from a row into a tricep extension. I generally like to break up muscle groups so that you're not necessarily using the exact same muscles from back to back. Not that that's wrong, but it's just a nicer way for you to mix things up so you can have some rest in between. So a row, the way we're going to do this is, you're going to step back a little bit, sit back into a little bit of a squat so you're sort of anchored into the ground. Make sure your posture's up. You pull the handles in next to the sides of your body. You can choose to do this palms up, palms down, palms neutral. That does tend to change things a little bit. You can also tend to go high if you want, or keep it in nice and close to your rib cage. Any of those options are going to be good ways to mix things up for you. I'm going to start with an isometric row. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull both in. I'm going to hold one of the handles nice and tight back so that there's tension there, while the other one is going to do reps. So I'm going to give 10 reps on one arm. 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice I'm giving a little bit of a pause at the back before I release. I'm not just driving the elbow back and then releasing right away. I'm giving it a second to sort of activate. Good, pull that one in, chest is up. Nine and 10. And then if you want to finish it off by doing both at the same time, just to get a little extra burn in, that might not be a bad idea. You might be pretty tired after doing both of those arms individually, totally fine as well. It's all up to you and how far you want to push your body. I love to finish off by giving an extra few set of reps with both at the same time. Cool. All right, so now we're going to hop into tricep extensions. Really is an elbow extension. People call it tricep extension, but you're extending the elbow by engaging the tricep. So the idea is that you're sort of sitting back into a little bit of a squat almost. You're going to have your band draped over the top of the door, and you're going to extend the elbow and really work that tricep on the back, all right? This will also be, I'll need to differentiate this from one of the next few exercises, the lat pullover, because they're slightly different. You can sometimes conflate the two and they end up being sort of similar to each other. They're not, so let me just really underline that right now. Elbows are in tight. Again, sitting back into a little bit of a squat, nice long spine, shoulders are down. Bring the handles down next to the sides of your hips. And we'll give this is kind of a lighter band. By the way, with bands for the most part, the further you stretch them, the harder the resistance, right? So if you want to make it more difficult, you don't have heavy enough bands to be difficult, you can always step back a little further from the anchor point, and that does tend to give you a little bit more resistance to work against. Gonna kind of keep this thing going here, give it a nice little burn. Again, pause at the bottom before you release. Don't just go speed racer on it, okay? One of my clients and I have this guy at one of the gyms where I work at. One of my clients and I have this gentleman we refer to as Speedy Gonzalez, because he comes in and he does everything at light speed, and I'm like, oh my God, and none of it's correct. It's kind of one of those little things we just sort of snicker about a little bit. All right, bicep curls. So because I don't have more than 2 of the door anchors, I'm gonna do my bicep curls with the same band that I used for the row. So it's just gonna be a palms up, posture's nice and tight and drawn in, and the bicep curl is gonna be up here rather than from the floor, like maybe you've seen before, okay? So on a bicep curl, you wanna make sure the weight is out in front of the body anyway. You don't want the elbows to pull back in and turn into a row, right? You want all the weight to be out in front of the body, so you're really trying to isolate the bicep as much as you can. I got that cheddar though. All right, so palms are up. By the way, on this one, since the door anchor is up a little higher, you want to be really careful to make sure that that door anchor is extremely secure. Last thing you want to do is pull it and then have the damn thing snap right in your face because it's not secure. So you really want to make sure that you're secure with all your door anchors and everything before you get started. Also, I recommend always check your bands a little bit. Just give them a good quick look over before you get started, because if any of them are frayed or if they have nicks in them or whatever, those little nicks can turn into tears, can turn into snaps. Just be aware of that. And again, if you select a good quality band like Body Elastics, they have a piece of string in the core of the band so that if it snaps, it catches it so it doesn't actually snap you. So it's a good exercise, a good thing to invest in a decent pair of bands, and don't necessarily want to go cheap on everything, you know? It's fine if you do, but just know that some of them don't have that fail-safe. All right, good. Bicep curls, I don't know, 12 to 15 reps, it's kind of your call on this. Again, you know, it depends on how heavy the band is, what you want to do. Higher reps gives you a good burn. You know, more resistance, lower reps gives you a little bit more mass work in terms of building muscle. So just know sort of the difference there. Lat pullovers, okay, this is the one that I wanted to underline. It's different than the tricep extension insofar as your tricep will do some work here to stabilize the elbow but not get it to extend. So the lat pullover is you're sitting back into the exact same position you did for the tricep extension. You're gonna start with your arms overhead, and it's sort of like you're cross-country skiing, okay? You're pulling the things down, keeping your arms relatively straight, pull the handles down, back, behind the hips, and you're working into this muscle group here, your lats and stuff, rather than triceps being the active muscle. Okay, so again, sitting back, nice long neck, postures tall and lifted, sit back into the hips. You want to make sure as you're doing this too that you're not involving core movement, you're stabilizing, so you really are getting the pullover and the lats to do the work rather than turning it into a crunch of some kind, okay? Hope all y'all are staying healthy out there. So far, definitely improving on my end. The voice is almost at 100% now, which is great. I will say getting rest, hydration, probiotic, vitamins, good clean dinners. Thank God my roommate's an excellent cook. I am too. But we've been having some really nice meals. I'm gonna give 2 more. Wasn't really counting there, but again, sort of up to you. So probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 25 reps on that for myself. So gauge that as you will. Last exercise in the set, lateral shoulder raise. You're gonna work on sort of the cap of the shoulder here, and you'll involve a little bit of the traps as you go up into this. It's really trying to involve the sides of the shoulder as much as you can. I also seem to have misplaced 2 of my handles. I have a feeling I lent them out. Didn't realize I lent them out, so until now. So I'm just using hooks. Gonna have to be really careful on this one. So you're gonna step on the band. Every band is different in terms, obviously, in terms of how far it'll actually stretch. So you may need to be further away with your feet. You know, the more ground you cover on the band itself, the tighter the resistance is gonna be. So just know that. So you get to kind of monitor that and manage that yourself. For a lateral shoulder raise, we're just gonna do a very standard one. Palms facing your hips. And as you bring the arms up, you wanna have a slight bend at the elbow, not a completely locked arm. Keep your posture up, keep your core tight, crunched and engaged so that you're not leaning any one direction to do the movement. When working shoulders, I find very often that it's very easy to have your spine flexibility allow you to go behind or to go around the movement as sort of a compensatory thing. So just know that you gotta make sure you keep your core engaged when doing shoulder work, because your body's gonna want to kind of quote unquote help with the movement to make it easier. One of my trainer colleagues came up with a really good idea in terms of how to think about this movement. It's almost like you're taking a pitcher of water and pouring it out. So you sort of want to tip your handles and your arms forward a little bit, as if you're pouring water and being fancy about it or something. All right, that's good enough, I think. So that's the whole set. Okay, so you got isolated row, where you hold one, pull it back. You got tricep extensions, which is bending at the elbow, sitting back in the hips a bit. You got bicep curls. This one's out in front of the body, because that's where the anchor is. Lat pullovers, the full arm lat experience, rather than having your arms do the work, your lats are doing the work, so keep your arms straight. Last one is the lateral shoulder raise. I'm gonna go through the entire thing again. Here we go. Lightning speed, I'm gonna give you like 15 reps of each or so, okay? For the row, I'm gonna give you 10 on each arm and then 10 together. All right, here we go. Really keep that one pulled back. Do better than I just did. The one that's isolated, really work to make sure it stays put so that you don't start to lose the tension on that arm that's being held. All right, nice. Whew, getting a little burn. I like this track, so I'm turning it up. All right. Tricep extension. Ten, 13, 14, 15. Bicep curls. And palms are up for this. Core is engaged, don't lean back with the curl. Also on this, make sure your shoulders are pulled back, not way out here, caving your chest. You're keeping things nice and firm and retracted through the shoulders. There on that. Lat pullovers, again, this is this area, not the triceps, so keep the arms relatively straight on this. Again, sort of like you're cross-country skiing in a way. Nice long neck,
Shoulders are down and back, chest is in firm position, core is stabilizing but not moving. Good full range of motion on this, by the way. All the way up, all the way behind the hips. And last shoulder raise, the last in the set. Push, 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 push. By the way, on this, if you're standing on it, make sure your stance is even on both sides so you don't have one side being more difficult than the other.
I feel good.
You may have to slightly adjust in between reps here and there. Again, don't let the shoulders go up like this as you go. Keep them down. Focus on the shoulder cap doing the work and not your traps. They're still involved, but they're not the primary muscle here. Keep the crunch tight. Keep the posture up. So, I would normally, this is a fairly quick set, challenging, you can get a good burn doing it. I normally do this set probably 4 times through. Again, you can sort of vary that based on how much time you want to take. At this point, most of us are probably quarantined, which is not fun. So hopefully that means you got time to really dedicate to your workouts. You may as well. Self-care, mental health care. It's good to make sure that you're staying active. That's all I got. Any kind of questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to message me at Body by Benji on Instagram. All of my videos also are being transferred and posted on my YouTube channel, Benjamin Horan. So just give that a quick search, subscribe. I'm gonna start putting out a lot of content on there. That's all I got for you today. Have a blessed day. Take care of yourselves and one another. Check in with your loved ones. Be smart, be safe, get rest, get water, all that good shit, okay? Love to you all. Bye.